we think that both Milwaukee and Boston are the two best teams in the East in some order. We don't know yet, but injury aside, what has to happen for a team other than Milwaukee or Boston to make it out of the East? What is the key to the rest of the East beating Milwaukee and Boston?
I think it's Evan Mobley taking a massive leap forward offensively. I think it's the Cavs figuring out their offense, and that Mobley should probably be more of their second option. That and Donovan Mitchell should be a insurance in case Glass, we need you to bail us out type of guy. I don't know how Mitchell would feel about that. I think that's an important one there.
But yeah.
But I think that's something I'm looking at as somebody that can kind of maybe crash that party. I'm sorry, Knicks fans. I just don't see how you guys crash the party all that much. I think you'll be a little bit better than last year, but not much. I'm afraid to figure out what Miami is. Like, I don't know, like I don't think they'll be as bad as they were last year. I know they lost some guys, but I don't think they'll be as, like they're somewhere in the middle of what they were last year. And I think that's a weird one. After that, like, I don't see anybody else in the East really contending. And that's not to say those two teams don't have massive weaknesses.
I know Philly's got a ton of questions, obviously, because they still, as of today, still have James Harden, who's not, really doing anything with
He
them.
Didn't even show up today at practice.
Didn't show up. So it's hard to even think about Philly, but let's think about Philly a little bit. I mean, they've got Embiid, who, is maybe the third best player in the East, or first, depending on how you rank him. He was the MVP last year. They still got Maxey. We think they'll probably still have Tobias Harris. I mean, they've got an okay team, and you could see if they could get a couple of decent role players for James Harden, that's not a bad team. You give them any shot whatsoever.
No. I'm sorry. Like we've been down this road with them before, and now they're in this weird toxic situation. I don't think you're going to get a ton of value for James Harden if you do trade him. I think if you get him, he's super disgruntled. I think even then, just looking at this team, I don't have a lot of faith in them, even if everything was hunky dory. Like we've seen the playoff failures over and over again at this point, and it's just, I'm sorry, I cannot. They're in the prove it to me category, plain and simple.
Seth, do you see the Cavs as the next best shot to win the East?
I think for understandable reasons, I think Philly is the third best team in the East, and we're short on them for understandable reasons. But I think if in terms of what they look like, if everything goes right, it's on the level of those first two teams. It just we kind of have our understandable and justified doubts about things going right. I don't know. Do we want to get wild and start saying,
hold on. Before you get wild and freaky.
Yeah.
How many things has to go right for Philly versus how many things has to go right for Boston and Milwaukee? Like, their list is so much longer.
Definitely.
And that's why, and that's why I just even longer than
and
Cleveland's,
a new coach,
in my opinion,
right? Like new coach. There's a lot of uphill battle.
I mean, I'll say it.
Although
so
Adrian Griffin's a new coach in Milwaukee too.
Yeah, I'll say it so Mo doesn't have to. I think that is a reason to have more rather than less faith in the Sixers getting things right this year. In this case,
I don't know. I think I'm more with Mo on the coaching situation there. Is there? I mean.
No, Mo agrees with me.
No, I agree with Seth. I agree with Seth. He
was
saving me from saying
it is better. Yes, it is a better situation. I don't know if it's ideal. Let's get a little wild then, Seth. It's not gonna, I mean, listen.
I mean, if we're getting I don't know.
We're saying Orlando makes a trade for James Harden.
Mikal Bridges Mikal Bridges is the guy he showed he was in Brooklyn in the back half of last year, and Ben Simmons shows up, but he's had moments in the preseason. He shows up and is sort of like the Draymond Green light version of himself, and Nick Claxton plays at a deep player of the year level, and
Cam Thomas.
Let's get weird.
25-point a game scorer. Yeah,
calm down.
I like it. I like
you bringing Cam Thomas into this. You went too far.